Hi everyone. Okay, so I just came back from Pax Unplugged. It was in Philly, and I'm just gonna tell you my experience because apparently this is my first time at Pax. I had an amazing time. There were so many board games I didn't even know existed. Like, I thought there would be, but I didn't know it was that much, and a lot of them were also from, you know, special series of games like Bioshock Infinite and well, I already knew about the Dark Souls on the Kickstarter. Everyone told me not to play that game because you die a lot and it's just hard and it's not fun. So I'm like, okay. So let's start with my experience with it. So this is the card you get. And on the back it actually tells you all the panels and like areas you can go to, like a map. Sorry, it's too shiny. So it was, my friend decided to do like a steampunk thing on Saturday, so that's why I still have this thing on. There weren't many cosplayers. There were some, but very little. It was mostly, when you go to the main hall, it's nothing but like, buy a game, try it out. There's so many demos that it's really, really hard to try all of them because they all take time, but people try to do it fast and quickly to get the gist of the game. So the first thing, when we went on Friday, apparently I got my own magic deck. I did play it a few times, but they gave it up for free. So now I have my own magic deck, Magic the Gathering. So I have this one, and to try out other decks, I also have the blue deck and the red deck because they said was offensive. It was all offense, so I'm like, okay, I'm interested in these. And I was told that blue is more like traps and stalling and stuff like that. And black is obvious because that's the, death and vampires and stuff that you steal health or kill, or you know what I mean. I do not like the nature deck because of how much spam with elves there are, so forget that, it's not for me. And white is like too not my type either. So yeah, I did like the dragon deck a lot. It reminded me a lot of Shadowverse, the game I play online for free. The cool thing about Shadowverse is that it's like animated and you get free packs when you log in a lot, so it's kind of like that, but Shadowverse has a different rules and everything. And this isn't free, so that's the only difference. But it's nice that I finally have my own deck now. I did learn to play General with my friends as well. And my god, we had to stay up till 5 a.m. in the morning. So, yeah. So Magic was like all over the place for PAX. Next thing I played was this game called Tokaido, which is like a vacation Japanese game. It was $40. It also has expansion. It's basically, you're trying to have the best vacation ever, and you can only move to the places. It's like one board, like one line. So you have like hotspots, merchant, charity to the temple, and views like hot springs, mountains, stuff like that, or travelers you meet up. Every person has their own ability. The game was fun. I personally don't think it was worth $40, but it was fun. It's like you're trying to have the most money depending on the most achievement, and everyone gets to go to an inn and have food. I think that's the one that's called Tokaido. Let me just make sure. Tokaido board game. Yes. Okay, it's on Amazon as well, as I can see. it's funny. It's actually cheaper on Amazon because it has a discount right now. Save $6. But game is, if you wanna, it's spelled out Tokaido. It's up to 5 players, and well, basically at the end of the vacation. Wait, what happened? My video first. Okay, sorry. At the end of the vacation, whoever gets the most points and the most money wins, and the most like landscape, like an art landscape. So it's a really cute game, very relaxing. Another game I played. I don't know the name of it. It's just like monsters where you would just pick up their pieces, and they're basically your workers. And then depending on how many players you got, like we were 3 players, so each one has like a body. You can transmute, get like tentacles or claws or brain, and you can exchange it for money and for food. And each turn you have to have enough food, or something bad happens to the workers. So you're trying to make the most money and the best like monsters and stuff like that. And in the middle of the board you put it around. It was pretty complicated, but I mean, it wasn't a bad game, but I guess it just needs a lot more time to figure out how to play the game. Yeah. So next game I played, let's see, I played a game called Masquerade, which was like a last minute thing with my friend. We had like 7 people. We were looking for a game that was like short and quick before they closed the PAX on Saturday. So basically the game is everyone put their cards down, everyone has a role: the king, the queen, the spy, the pheasant. And the whole game you just kind of switch cards, and you say like, okay, I'm the spy, and I am. Sometimes you don't even know what card you have. Like, you just swap it, or you just mess with people around, saying that I'm the spy and I want to look at your card. And if someone says I'm not the spy, we both reveal our cards. So, if you are the spy, you're the spy. But in the end, you both revealed your card. So, or let's say I'm saying I'm the king, and you don't believe me, so someone says, okay, you're not the king, so let me see your card, and you flip it over, it's not the king, so whoever the king is gets the money, the real king, and the other person just loses their bonus. So it's like there's a lot more things to it, like the witch can change other people's fortunes, and you can swap if you want on your turn to see what card you got, or you don't know what you got until you look at it, and that's depending on what you want to do with your action on your turn. Another game I played was I can show you the games I got afterwards, but I'm just trying to think of all the games I've played. I really wanted to play. It's from the same makers as let's see, I think they're called it just came out from Kickstarters. It's called Rail Raiders, and it's made by Soda Pop Miniatures. They made a Steam game as well called what was it? Dungeon Arena, something like that. Dungeon Arena, and you have like a bunch of monsters, a big map, and you have like 3 different modes. They have expansions as well with more characters, more main players, more monsters. The whole time we were trying to figure out how to play, and I just gave up because it took too long and the instructions made no sense. It came with the free Steam game, so I guess my friends will put that on Steam and I'll try it one day. Maybe I'll figure it out. Now another game called Rail Raiders, it says coming soon on Kickstarter, it's already out. that game, basically I tried to figure it out myself. Basically you take the PAX card, like a library card, and you check out the game, then they link your ID with it. So I tried the game out, and it took me a while, but like it's a couple of turns. Basically a train, and you raid, basically you have 5 characters to choose from. Depending on how many characters you have, the train gets bigger. You don't know what's in the middle of the train, you just know the front and the back. And I hope you can hear me, I'm sorry. And basically the starting turn is weird. It's either you start at the back of the train, or you can roll. It's kind of like poker. You roll the dice, whoever, you get 5 dice for each person. You roll the dice, and whoever gets the highest rank, like double pairs or whatever, or if you get a certain rank, you can go into the first card or second card right away. So if you don't, you stay off the train. And some of the characters have different abilities, like mine can throw another player if I decide to shoot them down. And if I win, I can throw them off the train. Everyone has like a different ability. There's loot in the train, and robots you have to fight, the sheriff, the deputy. So you flip the card, depending, when you flip the train card, when you actually enter the train, you'll see the dining room or other rooms, a passenger room. Everything's different. Now, whenever you flip a card as a high noon card, it tells you what's going on, and at the end of the high noon card, when it ends, you have to get off the train or you lost the game. And whoever gets the most money wins. And the way you fight the robots, like, let's say the deputy, you roll once, you can kill it. You roll against the sheriff, you have to beat him twice, because he gets a reroll if he loses the first time. So it's kind of like 3 turns of who wins. When you get the loot, you can open the loot after you beat the sheriff. If there's no robots on the train left, you take the loot, you take the cards, and there's some equipment or other bonuses or more money. So I don't know about the safe part, because I never reached that part, because I think we had to leave, like they kicked us out because it was getting late. Or actually no, my friend doesn't want to go eat. I'm like, I want to finish to play it. Anyway. Okay, so I actually like their games a lot, and they're like anime kind of versions, and like with little figures. They're not painted though. I wish they were. But maybe one day when it's not so expensive, it's like $60 because it just came out. Maybe one day I'll own it, or the thing is I don't really have people to play with, but hopefully one day, maybe when I go to friends' places or conventions, and I'll just have the board games if anyone wants to play with me. And maybe I'll start the tabletop gaming as well. So next, other games I've played. You get so many games to try. That's the cool thing. It's kind of like a library of board games that you get to try, and there are people there teaching you the demo. Another awesome game I found that was really fun. I think it's called Boss. These are my style games, by the way. What was it? Boss board card game. It's online. Boss Monster, the dungeon building. Okay, I got it. Yes. Boss Monster, the dungeon building card game. We had kind of like, the person was a little rude when he was teaching us, but the game was actually fun. He was rushing and everything, but he made us almost like he didn't have the patience to teach us the game. He's just like, okay, do this, this, and this, and this, and this, and okay, whatever, you did it wrong. Don't flip the card. You're not supposed to. I'm like, oh my god, I don't know how to play. Like, it gave me anxiety. But the game is fun. It's apparently on the site it says 2 to 4 players. You get a bunch of like retro gaming, video game style. You're the one. You get a boss, and you get done, like you get a bunch of cards of either spells or the dungeon rooms. So you lay it out. They even had like a big table mat that was really awesome. The entire table mat was just like put the cards on it and whatever. It was pretty cool. Where you place the cards and stuff. Basically, you make your dungeon, and when the heroes come in, depending on if you have like a lot of spell books or weapons in your dungeon, so whoever has the most, the hero will go to that dungeon. Because three heroes come, so in my case I had like 3 books on my dungeon, and it has health on it and how much damage the heroes take, and if you kill them you get their soul. If you don't kill them and they beat you, it goes to your damage. So it kind of goes like that. And they have like the second game and expansions and stuff. Maybe one day, like I'll have it. I'm gonna have it on my Amazon wishlist because it's a card game. It's easy to carry if I go out like to events with friends, or bring a card game. That's a really fun card game to play. I don't know all the rules, but it's just the gist of it that you put down. You just collect the salt of the heroes, and you're trying to kill the hero instead of the other way around, where you're the hero trying to beat the monster. It's the opposite, and it's with other players. So whoever kills the most heroes wins for souls. So that game is really, really fun. It's called Boss Monster, the dungeon building card game. So one day maybe I'll get it if I have enough time to play outside my house or ever with people again. There were other games. There was a painting game. It was in Japanese. I forgot the name of it, unfortunately. It's basically, it's almost like the vacation game I was talking about, like the Tokaido, but this one is more about painting, and it had brushes, and whoever guy, it's hard to explain. I have to look online if I can find the game. Let's see if I can find it. Give me 1 minute. It was Kanagawa? Yeah, I think it was Kanagawa. Yes, okay. The game is $24 on Amazon. Over there they had it for $20 on sale. So it's called Kanagawa, and he showed us like really quickly because they were closing. I'll put the list of the games that I actually tried out, and I don't know if you'd like to try it out, but that's the games I played. I recommend. There was another game. It was very, very simple, but it's also like kind of like a strategy between 2 players. You have like 7 different geishas, and with the 7 geishas, you get a bunch of cards that belong to them. 5 being the highest, which is 5 points, and 2 being the lowest. So you have to both kind of. There's 4 different actions. 1 card you can't touch. That's your preference. 1 card you get to keep. 2 cards are like you can't use at the round at all. Like they're gone. You can't touch it. The third one is show 3 of your cards, trade it with 1 with the other player, and you keep the rest 2. Not trade. You give 1 to the player and 2 to yours. And the 4th one is like take 2 and 2 of the geisha's like colors, I guess, if that makes sense, because they had like items on it, but it's mainly colors. So you try to decide which one they want to pick, and you pick, and which one goes to you. So whoever gets the most geishas in the round wins. Like, you have to have at least 4 and 4, and if you can also have a tie if both people have it. But yeah. Uh, it's a fun game, and it's like very short, and it can go a couple of rounds until someone wins. I wish I remembered the name of the game, but it was a good game. I'll see if I can find it again. 7 game card. Ah, there we go. I found it. They're so easy to find. We'll have to do is just do the name of the game, and it's there. Okay, I think it's called Hana Mikuji. Yes, it is. It is Hana Mikuji. The art is really pretty. Game is very simple, very little cards. I don't know how much it costs. Let me see the price. It's like 15-minute game, 2 plays. Yep, that's exactly what I was talking about. Oh, it's $14 on Amazon. So I'll post that below. I'll post all the games below, I'm sorry. Oh, it's actually, wait, 16 on Amazon. Alright. It's called Hana Mikuji 21 Flowers. It's a very simple game, very pretty artwork. It just kind of like you're bored, 10-minute kind of thing, and you keep trading until you win. It's more like a strategy game with cards. Alright. Let me think of other games I've played. Okay, so one game was heavily advertised, which it's the same as the Dungeons and Dragons game, but apparently it had a lot of rules, so my friend was like, it's not Dungeons and Dragons, there's too many rules in it. One of my friends bought it. He had a terrible night. I feel bad for him the next day because he went out drinking, came back at like 6 a.m. in the morning. Didn't know how he got there. Oh, it was awful. But yeah. The 2 other friends got so drunk, they went to the hospital because the cop forced them, and he went to the wrong area of Philly, South Philly. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. What else? So yeah, but thankfully they're all safe, and I feel bad for him. Like, that was some kind of experience for him. But the game we played, it was like Dragon Flame, or let me look it up. Okay, it's called it's actually called Dragonfire. Dragonfire. Mind you, I never ever got to play a Dungeons Dragons board or RP ever in my life because no one ever invited me. So yeah, I was wanted to play it, never happened. So I played the online games instead. So this one's called Dragonfire. In one moment, I found the board game. I'm not finding it on Amazon. Dragonfire board game. Okay, I did find it. Wow. Okay, it's a $50 game. It's by Callous Game Labs, and it's a D&D deck building game board. I'll put that also on my Amazon at the bottom. Basically, you have a bunch of different races. You choose a human thief, or human mage, or elf, or half orc, or you get like a cards, and you get like a little clip. Tells you how much health you have, how much coins you get. Each, depending on your class, you get 4 elements, or like grace or stealth and stuff like that. Each person gets a monster. You have to defeat the monster all together. You have the shop where you get assists. We kill a monster, everyone gets the loot. One person gets the person that won gets 2 coins, the rest get 1 coin. And And that's the basics of what I learned about the game. I think that was just the starting deck, like to start the game instead of like advanced, because I don't know how the advanced game works. So I guess look it up on YouTube online how the game actually plays. 2 to 6 players. So I mean, I was expecting more of it, honestly. But that's what happened. So maybe next time it's actually more fun instead of just like let's just do the easy starting deck. Okay, so I guess I'll talk next about Mysterium. That game I saw on the list, I'm like, oh my god, like the guy told me it's really fun. Basically, Mysterium is about one person is a ghost and he can't talk, like completely mute. I was a ghost at the beginning, so you have like this board at front. You get a bunch of cards. You just randomly put the cards wherever you want, like the human, the location, and the weapon to use to kill you. And each player they have to figure out, they're kind of like the psychic, they're trying to figure out who it is. So you get like really horrible vague cards that try to relate to the person, like let's say it was a seamstress or officer or baker, you know. So you give each player the cards, and then the timer runs as soon as you give everyone the clues for the card. And once the timer runs out, you have to figure out whether or not it's true that the person is right. That's the person that player blue probably killed, or red is wrong because it had nothing to do with the card I gave them. Like, it made absolutely no sense to them. And the other players decide if it's correct or not. They get extra points if like they think you're wrong or they think you're correct. And at the end of the game, basically after you find out everyone has to help each other, basically. At the end of the game, you try to find out who the murderer is after everyone figures out the person, place, or thing that they killed. And depending on how many points each person got, if you got less than 5, you get only 1 hint. If you get more than 5, you get 2 hints. And if you get 7 or more, you get all hints. So in the last one, we didn't know what it was. I had only 1. So I was like, what do I pick? Holy crap, I don't know. So I picked mine, and then at the last reveal, it was like kind of like a food kind of thing. I'm like, oh man, it was I think it was a seamstress that killed with the fork, because the fork represents food, and we almost lost the game. But we won. In the end, we won. It's a really, really fun game. Really fun, in my opinion. It's like people have to like think a lot. Like, what does this look like? It doesn't make sense. But I recommend Mysterium. It's an awesome game. I would love to keep playing it with other people. The more people we have, the more fun it is, because there's more players, more guessing game, more helping each other. Yeah. So my friend got that game and it was awesome. There were people actually teaching us. We were like setting up, and we need more players kind of thing. And while we were setting up, they were teaching us the game, and it was awesome. It was really nice of them. Like in the PAX, it's so different. Like it's a different feeling because the entire area is just, I don't know, there's like thousands of people all over the place, all playing different board game, card game, and you had like a little seg that says we need a teacher or we need a player. It was so awesome. Really, it was so awesome. And then it's easy to start. You ask other people, hey, do you want to play with us? Or hey, can you teach us? And people are really nice about it. So like, it was a good experience, and you can actually make new friends and battle each other and learn the game. So it was great. Uh, I got 2 games, and I'll show you mine soon. These are the free stuff like they give you. Like for Flux, they give me the creeper with the scarecrow from, I think it's from Batman. So if you play Flux, you can just add it to the deck. Like, I haven't played Flux in years, so I don't even remember how it works. This one is Fantasy Realms. They give you like a bunch of freebie cards. So in case you ever decide to play the game, you get it, right? Gamer mats, they were nice to me. Like, they sell a bunch of gamer mats. Like, mainly there were a lot of dragons, which are awesome. I don't have any mats, so maybe one day I'll get it. They even make custom ones, so if you ever wanted a custom game mat, they're called gamermats.com. And basically they're like, do you need a chair? Like, I didn't have my phone with me. Do you need a chair? Sit down, whatever. Like, yeah, thank you. They were really, really nice. Like at the booth, it was awesome. So they have all kinds. They have metallic prints, custom table, everything with like board or D&D or Magic or anything really, like fantasy related stuff. And they'll have more series online. Maybe I'll get one day. The dragon mat I wanted was sold out, so it was like, oh. Another place I visited was Arcane Wonders. I think that's where I got the game. Was it? No, there wasn't this one. The one I got was I got a giant bag for buying a game. It's called Alderec.com. So I guess I'll check that. I'll show you soon. But I think Arcane Wonders had the. I don't remember which games they had, but check them out. I think they were pretty good, and I like their logo a lot. GTM Game Trade Magazine. Oh, okay. So if you want to enter a contest, they had this thing. So that's like, they had a lot of raffles and stuff like that. Oh, I did get the book. Okay, so this is a company where my friend really, really likes their stuff. They didn't have the train games he liked, so they give you an entire booklet of all the games they have. They're called I think it says ILO or Jello, I can't tell. And they give you all these board games. Like Windy Girl, Root and Run, Welcome to the Dungeon. This is really, really cool because they show you the artwork and the basics of the card game. King of Tokyo looked cool because I saw people play it. King of New York. Arena of the Gods. And the game I played, Kanagawa, is also in here. Oh, I didn't play it actually, no. It's a game I was really curious about with the painting and stuff. I don't know if you can see. Sorry. Again, I'll post it at the bottom if you're interested. And they also have in the book they even have the scanner so you can QR code. So they have a lot of stuff if you're interested in their games, board games. It's pretty awesome. And at the end it says they're making more games. I like the Sea of Clouds art book, Fairy Tile. Oh, so it's called ILO games. got it. So you can find them on Facebook, Twitter. I'll give them a like because they were pretty awesome. They were really nice people there. Okay, so the 2 games I got. What else do I have in here? Oh, yes. Another game they had that explained to me that hasn't come out yet, but it's coming out soon. It's called I Am Dreamer. And they give you this pack. Basically, one person is the dreamer, and one person is a fairy. The dreamer can't see anything because they put a blindfold on him. Like, you'll get a blindfold. You have different artworks like this one, or this one. They're this one. The scissors. So they have all kinds. I really like the artwork, it's pretty. So each person does something else. I think, okay, so you have the fairy, the Sandman, and the Boogeyman. So the Boogeyman is gonna try to convince you that the dream is wrong. Like, let's say I have a fairy here, I say there's a bird there. The fairy will say there's a fairies on a candle. I'm not sure how the game works, but he was explaining it really quickly. And the Sandman tries to balance between, like, he's wrong and right, like, of how many, it's like a memory game. And then at the end of all 5 turns, you have to remember what happened. It's like, my dream was there was a fairy, in a desert, with riding a fish, because I see riding a fish here, and 2 other things, like, I don't know, went underwater, stuff like that. So you have to remember the game, and it's called I Am Dreamer. It's not out yet, but it looks like a really fun game to mess with people. And if you get most of it right, you win. Most of the dream right. If you get it wrong, then the Boogeyman wins. So that looked like a really cool game. Okay, so another like freebie thingy. This one panel had like nothing but Dungeons and Dragons or tokens for magic, like custom made. They were really pretty, kind of expensive. They had all kinds, like anime or fantasy or like this. I just picked this one because I thought this was cool. This is called the Withholder. So in case you don't have the card and you want an actual card on the board of Dungeons and Dragons, it gives you status effects and abilities, what it does, like slap attack, his directions, his hit points, his speed, armor class. I'm not very familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, but this would be a cool monster to put in if you wanted to. If you're a dungeon master and want to put it in, I guess. And now I will show you the games I have got. Oh, one more thing. My friend got there was one more, the chef of, no, not I think it's called the Chief of Cunningham. And that game is like, they had an expansion with like an ugly old lady. And so they added more rules. I don't know if you're familiar with that game. It's a very fun game. Basically, everyone is kind of like a merchant and vendor, and you kind of have to go through the guard to say you didn't haggle in like illegal potions or food you're not supposed to put in there. So it's kind of like the game of BS where you have to figure out if the person is telling the truth or not, and if they're telling the truth, um, the person that accused you has to give you money, while if you were wrong, you have to pay for whatever illegal item, which costs a lot more money. It's like 5 coins instead of 2. Basically, at the end of the game, whoever gets the most bread or the most apples, stuff like that, you'll get bonuses at the end of the game, and whoever gets the most wins, basically. It's a fun game. It's just like a lot of like, it's like a kind of like a poker face game. The 2 board games I got, which I'm actually really, where did I put it? 1 second. Where did I put it? Weird. I thought I had it on me. Oh, this is like more freebies, like cool stuff that Inc. It's social media stuff called Gathering Magic. This is a game. I saw a lot of people play this, Evolution. It's also a video game apparently, not just a board game. So I guess that's popular as well. Where did I put my new board games? 1 second. It should be here. Like, how do 2 big boxes disappear on me? And I just took them out. 1 moment. And one of the game I bought it from gave me this giant bag. It's called AEG We Make Fun, I guess. Alderec.com. So I'm just gonna put this here. It's pretty awesome. I was not expecting this giant bag. So it's kind of like an elf. And apparently it's this, they have the game I bought, it has the same kind of mechanic system as this one, as Mystic Veil. Mine is more like anime style, this one's more like Western fantasy style. Where did I put the board game? I thought I just put it here. It's so weird. It's so weird. I just took them out. I was gonna do them in the beginning, but because I got like nervous, like I'm like explaining the whole Pax Unplugged experience. Where'd my games go? I have to put this out of the video. I'm not leaving. Oh man. Okay, I found them under my jacket. Good job. Alright. So, ow. Okay. So, I got Custom Heroes. This game. I can't afford like 40-60 games, but this one I got it for 25 instead of like 30. It's a card crafting game. I'll show you like how the system works. I haven't played it yet, but one of the people before we left was trying to teach us how to play it, and then they were like kicking us out. I'm like, no, I was just learning how to play. So these are health and tokens. We have other games as well here. Apparently this game is also in Japan because it's like all in katakana in Japanese. Basically I was like drawn to the artwork, and then they said evolution and customization. I'm like, oh, ooh, that sounds fun. So this is like isn't really needed, but it's to remind you of the game. And the back tells you what you need to win the game. The scores. So you can have up to 6 players. The cool thing about the game is you can give them different equipment and pets and stuff while inside the sheet. So you see this character Satoshi. Let's say you want to give him a bonus card. See, it's kind of like see-through. Right now he has no weapon and no like HP or anything. He has 3 HP or damage. So now he gets a +9. He gets like a flame dagger and a red gem. You see that? I always loved that as a kid. I don't know if it's from storybooks and stuff. It's like high quality. They give you a little bag. So when you put the when you draw cards that you need for equipment, you do that. Each player gets like one advance card in case like you're dying and it costs you tokens, and only losers get the tokens. And you also get pets. And it says the card is wild if played in a set. See, I'm still learning the game. I don't know what that means. I don't know what the minus is, but apparently if you hold a flower as a weapon, you get a -1. And I don't know what the elements are, but I'll learn about them as well, the gems. So maybe one day, yeah, definitely. I'm gonna try to learn the game or see on YouTube tutorials on how to play it, because it looks really, really fun, and I'm really glad I got the game. Like, really, really glad. Hopefully I can bring it to conventions and play with other people. It just, it's great. And so the game behind me, Mystic Vale, if you don't like the anime style more, there's also this version, which is the more like elf, orc, humans style game. The other game I haven't opened yet. It's called basically it was Sunday today, and they had so much of the game. They were trying to get rid of stuff, and all I had was $10. So I was like, can I get this for $10? And they did, and it was because they were trying to get rid of things quickly. And the game, they had so many stacks of this game that I don't know if people were buying or not, but I guess it's because nobody got to play the game. So apparently it's called Ars Alchemia. Alchemy, a world of alchemy where the discoveries made by a past grand alchemist have revealed the mysteries of alchemy at a faster rate than technology. The everyday lives of the people is sustained by tireless alchemy factories. You are one of the factory overseers in the Academy of Alchemy. You will need to select orders from clients, gather the materials, and transmute them to become the most trusted and famous factory in town. The game is 2 to 4 players and at least 1 hour gameplay. And it looks like this. I'm sorry, it's so shiny. And it's very cheap, that's why I got it, because I could afford it. And artwork looks good, and basically you have to do what the clients in the game tell you to gather. So the more quests you do, the better alchemist you are. Whoever gets the most clients and items made wins the game. It's made by TMG, and it's really cool. I can't wait to start playing it and see what it's like actually with other people. So that was my PAX experience, unplugged. I did see other panels where you could play classic retro 80s 90s board games in another area, but to me I think the best part was where you get to try out the game. Sometimes they give you special because you're a PAX, or because it's Sunday they give you discounts. and they closed the area at midnight because it takes so long to play board games or try to learn how to play a board game. But you get to try out a lot in that limited amount of time. But I had an awesome experience, and if you guys like board games and try to make new friends and play with other players, I definitely recommend going. The place is so huge, like, I don't know, it was like thousands of people. We were trying to look for one table where it wasn't occupied, and it took us forever to find one. And I recommend not buying food from there because it's like $5 for a soda. But other than that, I had an awesome time. I got to play awesome board games because, you know, I always wanted to play games that are more than just, I always play video games stuck at home, so being more like physically involved with other people socially, playing games is way more fun than behind the screen most of the time. So that was my experience, and I do recommend going to PAX Unplugged if you want like a new experience and try out new board games and try to make new friends. And many of them were very friendly people. A lot of people also have into the same kind of atmosphere, and it's much easier, I guess, people like me, because I have like a lot of anxiety, stress, to make new friends. But when you play a board game, everyone is just like having fun and playing together. So yeah, overall, awesome. If you can go to PAX Unplugged and you like that kind of stuff, they have everything, all kinds of games you can think of, and yeah. You guys can do like game nights and stuff. That'd be awesome. Or take it with you, depending on the game. You can just play quickly. But yeah. The price range could be from. Oh, there was one more game that I forgot the name of it. But basically, it's kind of like a parody of all card games in the game. Basically, it's a board game of trying to collect. Okay, it's kind of like you're the player, you're trying to get more booster cards to make a deck, and by the time you make a deck, you can make a tournament with other players. And a lot of it has like a Yu-Gi-Oh reference or Pokemon reference or any type of like gaming references. I wanted that game, but I think that with the expansion cost $80 and I don't have the money for it, but who knows, maybe one day I'll be able to play it. I don't know the name of it, I'll find out. If I do, I'll post it in the YouTube link. If not, I tried. But I would love to play the game. It's just that I heard that it takes hours and hours because it's a lot of deck building and stuff going on with that game. Because you go also to like in-game shops to get more booster packs and stuff like that. So yeah. I would love to play that game one day. But yeah, that was my experience, and I hope it was helpful. That was, sorry the video was so long, but I do recommend going to PAX Unplugged. It was my first time experience, it's the first Unplugged experience, and it was great. So, next time, I hope like you guys go and hopefully have like an amazing time next year. Thanks for watching and have a good night or day. Bye guys. And if you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and like. Bye.